let's take it real soon. You know we got what you need, baby, so take it, move along. I said we got what you need, honey, come and groove along. Come on. Rolling on the highway and heat up. Wow! Come on, and groove along. Come on. Said babe, I said babe, oh honey, come and groove along. You gotta feel it, yeah, you gotta move along. You gotta feel it, feel it, feel it, feel. You gotta feel it, feel it, feel it, feel. You gotta feel it on the roadway. You gotta move along. Wow, baby, you gotta move along. I said, baby, you gotta move along. I said, honey, take it real slow. I said, honey, just take it real slow. Oh, you gotta groove on. You gotta groove on.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jubilee Circle. We are so glad that you are here with us this morning. And if you are looking for a bulletin, that will be, if you're watching on YouTube, you can scroll down and there is a link, or you can go to jubileecircle.com and there will be a bulletin on the front page. So welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
2, 3, 4.
I will meet you with my heart, heart to heart. Let us meet again, and then
Oh, yeah. All right. Again, welcome to Jubilee Circle. We're so glad that you're spending this beautiful post-tropical storm Sunday with us. Hope everybody survived.
Yes.
And it wasn't
Prayers to Florida.
too waterlogged. Yes. And yes, we keep our friends and family and strangers and loved ones in Florida in our thoughts and prayers as they, oh my goodness, they'll probably retire this name. So much damage and going on in
Yeah.
Florida. So we pray for those who are still in the rain, in the path of the rain north of us. So good morning, and today we are continuing our VIA Negativa theme of the Tao of Darkness. And in the Tao Te Ching, darkness represents the indiscernibility of life. So when we bring curiosity and awareness to the perceived mysteries of our lives, we can begin to see how the holy is moving in, through, and around us at all times, helping us to rediscover that inner light, that inner divinity that we all have. So, over the past 12 years of speaking here at Jubilee Circle, I think I have done sermons on requested topics or requested songs. I had a guy say, here's a song, build a sermon around that song. I'm like, oh, challenge accepted. So I've only done that a few times, and today is one of those rare request days. Todd Hoppock asked if I would do a talk on how to plan for the future, because, you know, we talk a lot here at Jubilee Circle about the present moment. But what about the future, Todd wanted to know. How do we plan for that? So today, just by a show of hands, let's take a poll. How many of you believe that by the end of this celebration, you're going to have a clear roadmap on how to map out your future goals, be they about jobs, relationships, or retirement on sunny beaches? Clear roadmap.
I'm confident in
Oh,
you.
y'all are going to be so disappointed. How many believe I will instead
money
give you
back.
a bunch of woo-woo mumbo-jumbo that's not very helpful at all? They're both true. But so how many believe that I will give you some good, solid spiritual guidance, but it's going to be completely up to you whether you incorporate it into your life or ignore it altogether? Yes, okay. You've been here before. Great.
Neutral.
I'm going to try to lean into that third option, but I hope to also offer some practical guidance and mix in as much woo-woo as we can stand, right? Okay. So yeah, all three. Overall, though, the one main point that I want to make throughout this morning is this. While the present moment is a powerful place to be in regard to how your future unfolds, your past can override anything different that you may plan for your future. In other words, when it comes to your future, the past always has the power to invade the present and make sure that your future is just more of the same. So, this morning, I'm going to try to give you the power, yes, to live in the present moment, but without your past, so that your future will be one that will make you say, oh yeah. Please rise as you're able. And as we begin this morning, we do it in the same fashion as always. Woo, we got a good smoke this morning. We burned sage as a reminder that this is a
Here's our
safe
sage
and a
queen.
sacred time. We remember the four elements, the air and the water and the earth and the fire. And we orient ourselves in this sacred time and space by calling the four directions. So I invite you to turn and face the east. Holy One, we give thanks for the presence of the sun as it marks the beginning of each of our days. Give us the courage to allow this day to unfold as it will, to be present for each moment, even those that might challenge or annoy us. Remind us, Holy One, that you are available in every moment, inviting us to awaken to the future you have for us, one that will make us say, oh yeah. Quarter turn to the right, we face the south. As the summer heat begins to recede in our neck of the woods, Holy One, remind us that summer, even though summer is in our past, it's in the future in other parts of the world. There's never a time when now is not happening. It is always this present moment, whether we feel the heat of the summer or the cool of the fall. Wherever we find ourselves in any given moment, Holy One, remind us to say, oh yeah. Quarter turn to the right, we face the west. As darkness falls upon us this evening, Holy One, and this day becomes part of our past, remind us that for someone else in the world, the sun is rising. The darkness may be our present, but our future is always just over the horizon. Remind us, Holy One, wherever we find ourselves at the end of this day, to give thanks and say, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Quarter turn to the right, we face the north. As we give thanks for the coolness of the fall weather that is coming upon us, remind us, Holy One, that fall is now past for some quarters of our earth. Remind us to appreciate the cool weather when it's here and not wish away any moments of our lives. It is in our darkest and coldest times, Holy One, that you nurture the seeds of a future spring that will make us all say, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And as we turn back toward the center, there are folks here this morning still dreaming of the past, dreaming about their glory days, or regretting past mistakes or missed opportunities. There are others that are already dreaming about the future, but I invite you, wherever you find yourself in your mind, to be here right now, to drop the baggage of the past, to hold lightly of your visions of the future to come, because if you can live unencumbered in this moment, the future is guaranteed to make you say, oh yeah. All right, remain standing, and we will sing our opening song. This was the other reason that Todd suggested this idea about the future, was that we would get to sing another Fleetwood Mac song. So don't stop thinking about tomorrow.
I'd like to dedicate this to all those in Florida suffering.
Yes.
Because there is a tomorrow, and
Yes,
you
there
will get
is.
through this.
That's it. There is light at the end of the tunnel. All right.
Oh, and
Pawleys Island, Litchfield, Myrtle Beach,
in the
yes.
path of Iron who
Yes.
suffered.
All of the places that felt
Ian,
the
if
wrath
he's
of
British, I don't know.
Ian.
Ian.
All right. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. I invite you to greet one another and dance. If you wake up and don't want to smile, if it takes just a little while, open your eyes and look at the day. You'll see things in a different way. Don't Oh, yeah. You may be seated. All right. Man. Thanks, Todd. That was fun to do that. So
Yeah,
thanks for the suggestion.
Thank you.
All right. Love the woo-woos. And Bruce Clark back there playing his brand new guitar.
Yeah,
He got for
thanks
his
to
birthday.
some magic
All right.
Birthday fairy
Sounding
lady.
great back
thank you.
there. And we have Michael Reisman over there on the piano and all the other instruments and synth. Leslie Gilroy here on the tambourine, my least favorite instrument. But one of my favorite people on my least favorite instrument.
And background vocals.
Trisha
And-
Fopp over here on the 12-string and vocals. That's Keith Edwards back there, senior. And that guy. Larry Farina.
Larry.
We need some Larry dust.
Larry.
Time for Larry dust. All right.
Larry dust to all, and to
all have-
all a good day.
Oh man, that's that's a lot of Larry dust. All right. So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Jubilee Circle, a little bit about us. We are an inclusive, progressive, interfaith community here in Columbia, South Carolina, broadcasting around the world thanks to the talents over there of Lee McEachern, who is always nervous behind the camera, but there he is. We teach the timeless common wisdom of love and unity that we find in mainstream religions and metaphysical philosophies, mysticism, and inspired secular and religious writers throughout the ages. We use popular music and teachings and weekly celebrations, educational and artistic events, and other community building activities because we're trying to build a safe space here for everyone to experience their own transformation so then they can go out and be that transformation in the world. And we believe we're here to expand our souls, to find that deeper meaning in life, to renew our commitment to love and peace and justice, to learn how to love wastefully and undergo a transformation from the inside out, to discover and remember who we truly are. We are those innocent, beloved children of God, and that's what we're to be out in the world. We also recognize we're part of all of this good creation that is around us. We are formed in stardust, but also love and joy. And we humans, we forget that. We come into the world and we see you over there and me over here, and we believe in separation, and then the judgments and the grievances start, and we believe that we're separate. We encounter others and we judge them as beautiful or ugly, good or bad, generous or stingy, loving or
Recalcitrant.
recalcitrant,
And intransigent.
intransigent, obstreperous. I like that.
That's right. Lots of
Let
words.
us remember the truth about ourselves. We are here as love and to be open channels of love, because that is what we are. We are love, and that should make you say, oh yeah. All right, just a few announcements. Next week, we're going to use music from Incubus. I think they only had one really big hit, and that's probably at Drive. Anybody familiar with that one? We use that one because we're going to explore the Tao of the journey. So we're not doing any journey, so oddly enough. But anyway, so join us again next week. We'll be doing all that. This Friday is our Jubilee Circle movie night, and we're going to do the metaphysically, spiritually minded movie called What the Bleep Do We Know?, starring Marlee Matlin as a woman who finds herself moving away from her daily uninspired life into the uncertain world of the quantum field hidden behind what we consider to be our normal waking reality. It's the kind of stuff that we teach here at Jubilee Circle. So come, bring some snacks and your favorite beverages and enjoy the movie. We'll put one of those big screens up and everybody sits on the couches and has a good time. So
Don't forget
join us.
your
It'll
fuzzy
be
slippers.
a lot of fun. Yeah, bring your fuzzy slippers in your pajamas, whatever you want to do. It's informal. We're just hanging out. This morning, Beth and Julie are out at Palms to Palmettos that's having their holistic healing and arts festival, and that's going on until 5 o'clock. Early reports from Beth indicate that a lot of interest in Jubilee Circle. Those are our people out there at the Holistic Arts and Healing Festival. So hopefully there are folks who will be tuning in and learning more about us. So if you've got time this afternoon, go and hang out there. It's on Lee Part Road in West Columbia. You can look up Palms de Palmettos, and you can find them and go out there and have a good time until 5 o'clock this afternoon. At 4:30, I'm going to be the closing act. I'll be singing out there, so the last half hour, I'll be doing some songs. And then if you're there, you can help us pack the truck, right? And get out of there. so yeah, join us out there. And then Saturday, October 15th, we're going to be at Pride. We're going to have a booth, and so we always need volunteers to come and help us out during the day. So if you've got time and you're going to hang out at Pride, come hang out at the booth and give folks a potty break and, you know, a chance to go and wander around Pride and get some food, that kind of thing. So anybody who's manning and womaning the booth will need some breaks. And then just remember, it's Soundy School at 10:30 every Sunday, and our Course in Miracles discussion group at 7 on Tuesday nights. Just an informal discussion group. Are there any other announcements? Anything coming up at the Marionette Theater?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we are still doing Winnie the Pooh
Okay.
for fall, and each show is getting better and better. Lion and the cast are doing a great job with the artistic and the puppet or the marionettes. Excuse me. And we encourage you to come out. We are open Saturdays. 11 a.m. and there's the first show, and 3 p.m. is the second show. $7 for people over 2, and also if you're in the military, they're free. Okay.
Oh, okay.
If you're sick or senior citizen, it's $6.
Hey.
So
Hey.
come on, maybe we
What do
can
you
get you
consider-
in for 6. No,
What do you consider senior
I don't
citizen?
know. If I see they have grandkids, I don't ask. I just okay.
Let me see your ID, lady.
That's right. That's
Right. Yeah, it's
And,
not behavior,
and,
it is
if
age.
you're going to
Yes.
be horrible, terrible too, we don't know. And you're 40, we don't. Okay.
All right.
401 Laurel Street.
All right. Hear these wise and holy words. This wise and holy woman. Yeah, there's a ding somewhere. There it is.
From A Course in Miracles, Chapter 13. Time can release as well as imprison, depending on whose interpretation of it you use. Past, present, and future are not continuous unless you force continuity on them. You can perceive them as continuous and make them so for you, but do not be deceived and then believe that this is how it is. For to believe reality is what you would have it to be according to your use for it is delusional. You would destroy time's continuity by breaking it into past, present, and future for your own purposes. You would anticipate the future on the basis of your past experience and plan for it accordingly. Yet by doing so, you are aligning past and future and not allowing the miracle which could intervene between them to free you to be born again. If you accept your function in the world of time as one of healing, you will emphasize only the aspect of time in which healing can occur. Healing cannot be accomplished in the past. It must be accomplished in the present to release the future. From Buddhist monk and author Thanissaro Bhikkhu. The present moment is never simply to be accepted as it is. Because part of it is constructed in the present, it can always be improved. It can even be turned into the path to the end of suffering. But because it's always under construction, it's at best only the path, never the goal. The present is like a house that constantly needs repair, not just because it keeps disintegrating right before your eyes, never to return, but also because it's on fire with the flames of suffering. The path of practice is not meant to keep you in the house. Its function is to help you find the way out. And from author and teacher Joe Dispenza. The act of closing your eyes and mentally rehearsing what you're about to do begins to install the neurological hardware in your brain to look like you've already done it. Now, the brain is no longer a record of the past, it's now a map to the future. And if you keep hitting that hardware over and over again, the hardware is going to become a software program. And who knows, you just may start acting like a happy person. There's no magic there. You're actually following suit of how you primed your brain. And then if you said, well, listen, I'm not going to wait for my healing to feel gratitude. I'm not going to wait for my new relationship to feel love. I'm going to actually teach my body emotionally what that future feels like before it happens. Now, this is a big turnaround for a lot of people because we're so reliant on the outer world to change our inner world.
These are wise and holy words. Thanks be to the holy. All creation is holy word. All creation speaks volumes of the holy. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah. Breathe deeply.
Yeah.
Our song this morning comes from the Talking Heads. The song is called Once in a Lifetime, and it comes from their 1980 release, Same as It Ever Was. Let's just groove. And you may find yourself living in a shotgun shack. And you may find yourself in another part of the world. And you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile. And you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife. And you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here? Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground into the blue again. After the money's gone, once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. If you're at all like me, sometimes you may find yourself wishing you could go back in time. Say 20, 30 years ago, depending on how old you are. And sit down with your younger self and have a chat about their future. I imagine what it would be like to go back 20 or so years to my old self when I was living in Atlanta, working at CNN, see myself again as that cynical, angry person that I was back in that time. Because, you know, I'd like to tell her a thing or two. I don't know that my past self would actually believe everything that I would tell her, including that she would be living in South Carolina. That would get a laugh. Leading a spiritual community that she founded. Oh, that would get a laugh too. Married to an amazingly beautiful and talented woman. She'd like that part. And living in a house and community that at that moment she really could only dream about. I think the point where she would know that it was all bunk was when I first said, oh, you're living in South Carolina. No. Okay. No, seriously. Really. Where are you from? But here I am. I'm doing all those things that were never on my radar 20 or so years ago. None of this was my plan for the future, which is why the line from this Talking Heads song that begins, and you may find yourself, seems perfect. Because that's often how our future unfolds. We simply wake up one day and we find ourselves in some reality that we hadn't even dreamed about. And I've found that usually whenever I find myself this way, it's better than anything I could have ever cooked up. It doesn't always happen that way, of course. Sometimes you may find yourself living in a shotgun shack in another part of the world and you're not happy about it. And so often we may ask ourselves, well, how did I get here? We may not want to be where we are. We may be looking for a way out. And this jubilance is how time works in the bodily world, according to A Course in Miracles. Time, our reading from chapter 13 begins today, can release as well as imprison, depending on whose interpretation of it you use. The ego, of course, says, uses time chronologically, so it gives us this apparent reality that time only moves forward, never backward, but it's always forward in a linear fashion. The ego convinces us that the past is something that we should be dwelling on, even though the definition of suffering is wishing that we had a different past, right? A Course tells us that we destroy time's continuity by breaking it into past, present, and future for your own purposes. That purpose, of course, is to just keep us identifying with the past, because when we do, the future continues to repeat the past. If, however, we can accept that our function in this world is one of healing ourselves, because that heals the world around us, when we remember our unity with ourselves, God, and everyone we see, if we use time that way, then time creates miracles. If you accept your function in the world of time as one of healing, A Course reminds us, you will emphasize only the aspect of time in which healing can occur. Healing cannot be accomplished in the past. You can't go back and do anything about what's been done. It must be accomplished in the present to release the future, A Course says. This interpretation, it says, ties the future to the present and extends the present rather than the past. In other words, if you want your future to be different from your past, you got to examine what's happening right now. Are you spending this present moment ruminating on the past? Are you spending this present moment regretting something you did in the past? Are you spending this present moment wishing something from the past had worked out differently? Are you finding yourself in this moment with any manner of fear, grievance, anxiety, or regret? If so, I can predict your future because it's going to look a lot like your past. The Holy Spirit, though, Holy Spirit uses time differently according to A Course because it wants us to release, He wants to release us from time into eternity. And this is why we emphasize the present so much, because as A Course says, now is the closest approximation of eternity that this world offers. It is in the reality of now, without past or future, that the beginning of the appreciation of eternity lies. For only now is here. Only now presents the opportunities for the holy encounters in which salvation can be found. This moment, jubilants, offers us so much more than an opportunity to plan for some future that the ego says will make you happy. This present moment offers you a glimpse into eternity. This present moment is an ongoing opportunity to awaken to the healing of our mind that takes us off the ego's treadmill of time and puts us into the Holy Spirit's right use of time that creates an entirely new future based on the joy, peace, and love that we find in every moment. It's available. It's there, no matter what's happening, whatever the circumstance is. So if you can surrender to life and allow it to unfold, instead of forcing your own ego-based and rather arbitrary ideas of what you would see as a bright future upon it, you may find yourself in a whole new world that your ego never even dreamed of, because you will find yourself in a future that has absolutely nothing to do with your past. Breathe deeply. And you may ask yourself, how do I work this? And you may ask yourself, where is that large automobile? And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful house. And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful wife. Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground into the blue again. After the money's gone, once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. Same as it ever was, 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 same as it ever was. Same as it ever was, same as it ever was, same as it ever was. Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground into the blue again. After the money's gone, once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. I can hear what you're thinking. That's a skill I have. That's lovely, preacher. That's just lovely. But seriously, how do I plan for my future? Stop all the woo-woo. Okay, I'm going to tell you how. You're going to take notes? It's one sentence. This is how you plan your future. Stop planning your circumstances. Stop planning your circumstances. Because this is how the ego uses time. It gives us ideas of a future where our circumstances appear better than they are right now. So when we plan for the future, what do we plan for? We plan for a better job. We plan for a better home. We plan for a better neighborhood, a better set of friends, a family that acts like we want them to, a government that acts like we want it to, a world that doesn't trigger us or make us sad or angry. In other words, we plan for a more comfortable world for our bodies to exist in. And honestly, there's really nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's okay. We're here. We're here in this world. It's nothing wrong with wanting the journey to be easy and the burden to be light. Nothing wrong. But we may find ourselves in an alien place. Well, this is not my beautiful house or our large automobile. We discover that we really don't know how anything here works at all. If I went back to myself 20 some odd years ago, I don't think I would even recognize myself, because I'm not that person anymore. I have become a completely different person, and this jubilance is really how you get a different future. You become a different person. The person you are now, if you're still dwelling in your past, will simply create more of the same in the future. You can only create a different future when you put aside the grievances, the anxiety, the disappointments, even the joys of your past, and surrender to what wants to emerge in the world through you right now. That slate needs to be clean in this moment. You need to be willing and aware to see what new thing is coming up for you in this moment. That Spirit wants to offer the world through you. Years ago, I had opportunities that didn't seem all that great, like coming to South Carolina. What? But all of these opportunities arose. I didn't go searching for a different future. I surrendered to opportunities that came up for me and allowed whatever was trying to emerge from me to come through me. And here you are. Here you are. I have manifested everyone in this room into my experience. Not the future I had imagined for myself, but I love it. Who wouldn't? It's beautiful. It's great. It hasn't been easy. It's still not easy. Creating my present, which was my future back then, involved some hard things. It involved the uncertainty of moving to a state I thought I'd never want to live in. I'm not leaving. I'm here now. The excitement of a new job, the growing pains of a spiritual community, the pain of a divorce, the excitement of a new relationship. Not all of my present moments were fun. But the present moment is always trying to move you forward, since, as Buddhist monk Thanissaro Bhikkhu says, the present is always collapsing in on itself, since it's on fire with the flames of all of the suffering that we cling to from our past and the suffering we imagine might be in our future. The present moment, though, is always trying to help you escape the flames of suffering. We suffer whenever we live any moment in fear or anxiety or depression, or try to recapture the feeling of some past moment you thought was great. This is how we create a future of continued suffering. If, however, you are living every present moment from a space of love, from a space of trust and curiosity and awareness and anticipation of those new opportunities, those new things trying to emerge through you, you will move forward into a higher consciousness. You will become a different person, another better version of yourself that can create a future that this vision of yourself now can't even do. Can't even see it, can't fathom it. So here's the key, jubilants, to creating a future different from the ones you have had before. Stop focusing on changing your circumstances. They will always change. They will change whether you do anything or not. Stop. It's not about your circumstances. Start focusing on changing your vibration. Start focusing on changing who you are, how you live and move and have your being in the world. It doesn't mean you don't save for a rainy day or your retirement. It doesn't mean you don't consider moving or changing jobs or whatever you're thinking might make your future different from your past futures. What it means is you understand circumstances are never, ever, ever permanent. What is permanent is your higher divine self. And it is always asking you to evolve, to become joyful, to be in this present moment without all the crap from the past. You don't even remember it right anyway. Everybody's got their own story. It's not important. Leave it behind. Be in the present moment with a willingness to be aware of all the possibilities that are right here, right now, for you to grow and change and become a better and more aware and more spiritually deep and wide person. And that involves surrendering to this moment, listening deeply for its guidance, and remembering who you are, an innocent, beloved child of God who is here to learn how to forgive and become nothing but a channel for ultimate and unconditional love. You can begin to allow that higher self to emerge, says author Joe Dispenza, by using your mind to rehearse the future you want. We don't do this by rehearsing circumstances, though. We do this by envisioning how you want to feel in your future. And who knows, Dispenza says, you might start acting like a happy person. There's no magic there. You're actually following suit of how you've primed your brain. And then if you say, well, listen, I'm not going to wait for my healing to feel gratitude. I'm not going to wait for my new relationship to feel love. I'm going to actually teach my body emotionally what that future feels like before it happens. About 15 years ago, I started this visualization practice that one of my teachers had suggested. And I'm going to tell you the circumstances of this vision. I was living in Asheville. I was in downtown at the drum circle, sitting there with my dog and someone that I love, and I was just having the time of my life, and I had this elaborate vision of where I would be. And as you can see, the circumstances of that just never really worked out. Doggone it. But here's what did happen. I became the person that was in my visualization. That Candace was happy. That Candace felt free. That Candace knew that she was safe. That Candace knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that she was an innocent, beloved child of God who was eternally taken care of. That Candace had done the work of releasing the baggage of her past and was living each moment in joy with an inner peace that no outer circumstances could shake or disturb. So the circumstances of the vision, nah, didn't happen. But the deeply peaceful Candace in that vision, I can tell you, she is more present now than ever before. She's still who I aspire to keep becoming. And if I continue to hold that vision, then the future that I allow the Holy to create through me and for me will be beyond any set of circumstances my ego can tempt me with. Jubilants, if in this moment you are asking yourself, well, how did I get here? And you see the future as same as it ever was, I invite you to begin using time differently. Use it to release you instead of imprison you. If you, as the Course says, accept your function in this world as one of healing, which is healing your own mind, because as you heal your own mind, you heal the mind of the world, then you will find release from your ego's past-infested future and step into a miraculous future that is beyond what the ego can imagine. So I invite you this week, Jubilants, begin using your mind to imagine your future, not with a focus on the circumstances that the ego swears is going to make you happy, but with a focus on becoming that totally different person who already feels free, who is already joyful, who is already peaceful and happy and unconditionally loving. This moment is always on fire with your suffering. But that's how this moment is attempting to move you forward, to evolve you into the reality of who you are. You are peace. You are love. You are joy. So I invite you to surrender to this moment. Allow it to show you what is trying to emerge from you into the world, and surrender to those opportunities that come your way. Because if you do, the holy will transform you from someone who drags their past suffering into the future all the time into someone who uses time to release the past and create a whole and healed, peaceful, and happy future. And that's one that is going to make you say, oh, yeah. And you may ask yourself, what is this beautiful house? And you may ask yourself, where does that highway go to? And you may ask yourself, am I right? Am I wrong? And you may ask yourself, my God, what have I done? Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground. Into the blue again, into the silent water. Under the rocks and stones, there is water underground. Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground. Into the blue again, after the money's gone. Once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Same as it ever was. Ho ho hum? That's
Visualizing.
same as it ever was. Breathe deeply. I invite you in this moment to let that stuff go.
Yeah.
What's
Let it go.
past is past. And you can't arguing with your past. That's how you suffer. That is the definition. I think it's Anne Lamott who said that. Suffering is wishing you had a different past. And I've always liked how Marianne Williamson puts it, that you don't even remember it rightly anyway. Our fellow jubilant Lynn always tells the story of she remembers being on vacation, and she sort of fell off of this stairwell. They were at a park, and she's like holding on, over this cliff or something, or this high stairwell, and her brother rescued her. But if you ask her brother, he fell off. You don't even remember it right. You don't even remember your past. We make stuff up all the time about our past because that's how we remember it. But ask somebody else who was there. Got a whole different memory. So your past, yeah, sure, learn from it. Yeah, learn from your mistakes. Learn from the things that moved you forward out of that present moment. Yeah, learn from them. But don't dwell on them. Course in Miracles says, look at the crucifixion, but do not dwell on it. And that's what it means. You can look at it. Yep, there it was. I had a past. Taught me a lot. I can forget all that now. I'm here. And what a Course also suggests to us is to do that for everyone around you as well. Because, right, we have those people that come up, oh, here he comes. I don't want to see that guy. And you know why? Because you're looking at the past of that guy. What is he right now? What has he always been? A beloved, innocent child of God, right? Right? I don't know your past, little puppy, so all I can see is the present of you, and you're gorgeous. And that's how we approach the world. Don't see somebody's past. see who they truly are. And that is a beloved, innocent child of God. Yes, even the people that you hate. Even the people who you feel like in the past have hurt you. It's in the past. And another Marianne Williamson thing I like is that she says, forgive people, but don't be spiritually stupid. Right? You don't give a drug addict the keys to your car. The people who have hurt you, see them, love them. It doesn't mean you have to have dinner with them. It doesn't mean that they have to be in your presence, in your life. But it does mean that you have to love them. It does mean that within yourself, there has to be some grace for them. Because how else are you going to heal the world? So I invite you in this moment. Where are you dwelling right now? What crucifixions are you dwelling on? If you keep that up, your future's not going to look much different from your past. What can you leave by the roadside? What's the past baggage you need to be dropping right now so your future is one that makes you say, oh yeah. Breathe deeply. I've been struggling with the past recently. Because in the past, Jubilee has always struggled. And here we are continuing to struggle. What if I drop my story about how Jubilee has always struggled? What if I put that bag down? Stop projecting struggles into Jubilee's future. So let's start right now. In this moment. It's on fire with suffering. It's on fire with me thinking, this is never going to last. And that's something I've been saying in my head for 12 years. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? 12 years, this is never going to last. Here we are. No, I think that's why it struggles. It's like I keep saying, this is never going to last. I'm just hitting that realization right now, kids. This is fresh. So let's change our story. Let's change our story. This is a moment. This is a moment for Jubilee. This is a moment where we stop saying that we're a small, struggling congregation. This is the moment we claim the power of Jubilee. The power for this place to be a place of transformation. The power for this place to become what Spirit intends it to become. If just will get out of the way. Stop claiming to be small. Stop claiming to be insignificant. You can do that in your own life. We are powerful. Jubilee is powerful. And I'm going to claim that. We have the power to be something amazing, not just in this city, but broadcasting around the world. We are not small. We are deep. We are mighty. And that's because we've been supported. And so we ask again for support. If you've never given before, we hope that you will. If you've given in the past, or it's been a while, we hope that you will. But Jubilee is mighty. Jubilee is strong. Jubilee has survived a lot. And it can continue if we drop our small story. And we claim it. And so we claim that today. Jubilee, a success beyond measure, beyond anything we could imagine. Because Holy Spirit has it. And we surrender to that. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can give online, jubileecircle.com. We'll pass that around. I know some people do give online, so so we'll pass the basket around. And if you want to give online, you can go to jubileecircle.com. There is a donate button there. You can also give through Venmo and PayPal and good old-fashioned check. Post Office Box 4611, Columbia, South Carolina 29240. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your ongoing support. And thank you for your eyeballs and your attention this morning. And we're going to release our video folks into the week. And remember, as Meister Eckhart says, if the only prayer you ever say your entire life is thank you, it will be enough. Because when we are living in gratitude, we have no room for grievances. We have no room for the past. We are just here in this present moment. And so together we say, thank you. And we say, oh yeah. We'll see you next time.